2025 was the first year of operations for the RSA. The first two staff would have been engaged on the 16th of December 2024. So 2025 was really the first year of operations. During the course of that year, we met with public quite a bit and got quite a bit of backlash from persons wondering why Regulated Substances Authority. Regulation is generally unpopular. Nobody likes to be regulated or to be restricted. It started off with a conversation about cannabis and the need for the revision of the legislation surrounding cannabis. But the RSC has been given much broader of a mandate than that. So the reason that we're called the Regulated Substances Authority is because there's a need for the regulation of a lot more than just cannabis. And the RSC, as it has been conceptualized, is beyond just cannabis, looking at a number of substances that may have in their use or in their application risks. And recognizing these risks, it is the RSA's mandate to assess them, determine if there's a need to implement any checks and balances, not just for the individuals who are involved in the business enterprise, but for the consumers and also for the non-consuming public. 2025, the RSA would have had a heavy push on public relations.
There are many things, including sun, sea, sand, and sensimilia.
And on training. So throughout this year, we met with the public, we met with stakeholders, we met with a number of government entities to really explain, firstly, who we are, what we're trying to do, and in the case of cannabis and radiation, to explain why we were developing this regime and what the intricate parts of it were. So we would have gone throughout the length of the country, from Rosalie to Vieux Fort, doing Soufrière, Barbourneau, Dennery, Ancillary, having meetings with the communities in town halls like settings. We had it virtually as well when we looked at the regulations. So persons had the opportunity to chime in to say, why are you doing it this way? I think this would be better. And in many cases, we actually, during our debrief, would have looked at some of these comments and sought to incorporate where possible some of the suggestions in the refining of this regime. And even in doing so, we also would have met with our counterparts in Barbados, St. Vincent, Antigua. Funny enough, St. Lucia would have been the country when we started off the revision of our cannabis regime to propose the creation of a Caribbean Cannabis Forum. And initially we started off with three: St. Lucia, St. Kitts, and St. Vincent, the three saints. We had Antigua and Barbados join later. And we have, through the forum, really had conversations on what the challenges are in the various jurisdictions, what everybody is proposing as a change to some of the regimes that exist in some of these jurisdictions. We've also had support from Jamaica, who was the first mover in the cannabis space, who indicated what we should maybe stay away from, what some of the challenges that they continue to have to deal with. And we've sought to refine our industry, not so that there will be no problems, but so that we can have as minimal teething pains that we have seen in some of the other jurisdictions. On the IAEA front, through radiation, we've done quite a bit of training for both our staff and even for other persons who would have had an interest in radiation and in nuclear science. So we currently have an individual who is leaving for Vienna for a 9-month fellowship in nuclear science. Because the RSA, we think that it is not just about having staff that understand to our motto, certainty on these substances, but have a public who understands what is happening within the space of each of these substances. So this year really would have been a year for us to grow the staff complement, ensure that there is an understanding of all of the intricate parts of all the substances that we've been tasked with reviewing and oversight, and also exposing the public to understand that there are inherent risks in all of these substances. You're going to have an X-ray done, you're going to a doctor's office, there is a reason that you've gone there. There's a benefit that you're seeking to obtain, but there is also a risk in some of the things. Just like you may look to see what the prescription that you've been given and what are the side effects. The same way you should look to determine, okay, do I really need to have my 4th X-ray this year? We saw this year, quite interesting, when we spoke about radiation, person saying, there's radiation in St. Lucia. There is quite a bit of radiation in St. Lucia. There are a number of sources that are used for good purposes. As technology evolves, there's multiple uses for nuclear and other forms of radiation to benefit us. So we wanted to ensure that as we grow within that space, that there is the level of certainty of what is the risk, how do we use it, how do we protect persons, ensure people are safe, and how do we get the greatest success out of our use of these substances. In the case of some of the other substances, during the course of this year, we intend to continue our review. So we started off the review for alcohol last year, and during almost every stakeholder engagement and every committee engagement, people would have said, why are you looking at the review of cannabis and you're not looking at alcohol? But we are. It is a phased approach. We can't do everything at once. So we would have started off with cannabis. We moved on to radiation. We're now looking at alcohol as well, and there will be a move to some of the other substances that we've been tasked with. So hydrocarbons, which is petroleum, is also going to be examined. We're looking at explosives, which will include your fireworks and include ammunition. We're looking at your toxic chemicals, pesticides, hazardous substances. So there really is a need for us to examine all of these substances and determine, okay, is there a risk in its use? Yes. Is there a need for us to actually review this regime and refine it somewhat, or maybe modernize it? And if there is such a need, how would we be best suited to modernize this regime? So alcohol has started. We've started the review of alcohol, and we expect to commence the review of the other substances within the space of 2026. And we have also been informed that there may be a need for us to look at other substances outside of these initial 6. At the RSA, we are really excited about 2026. We have a number of initiatives planned, new initiatives, and we have a number of initiatives that we didn't get the opportunity to actually complete last year. So we're looking forward to actually moving with haste to complete some of these initiatives with some really high and lofty goals. So we are going to continue with our public relations. We're going to continue with meeting people, both the persons interested in the industries that we are regulating, so cannabis, radiation. We also want to host another symposium. We've done so for the last 3 years, and we're looking at a much bigger symposium this year that's going to touch and concern regulation generally. Why regulate? What's happening within that space? What's happening within cannabis, within radiation, within alcohol, explosives? And engage a lot of the other regulators on Ireland in that conversation. We're looking at having more meetings with the Caribbean Cannabis Forum to discuss some of the regional challenges that we have, to discuss the testing challenges that we have through the region with getting our product tested for export. Looking to discuss geographic indicators and how that can benefit us as a region with a niche product that we believe we have. Looking at additional training for our officers within cannabis, within radiation, safety and security, safeguards, and all of the other substances. Looking at continued review of the other substances as well, possibly to incorporate some of these substances on the RSA during the course of 2026. So we have a very, very, very packed schedule and a full docket of things that we really think would benefit the country. And we're ready to start.